So the first step of this project, I'm going to walk you through the steps of importing a single text file into our Excel document. Now open in front of you, I've just opened up Excel and I've got a blank Excel workbook. The next step that I'm going to go into is opening up the Visual Basic Editor, and we're going to create a single procedure here to import this single text file into our Excel document. Now before I do that, I want to show you what the text file looks like. It's a simple tab delimited text file, nothing big. Now if I just open up a folder I got here, this is the exercise files that come along with this course. They're just plain text files, and I've got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is that 7 of them? 7 files there. So nothing big. But I'm going to open up one of them. April 2015 sales.txt. It's a simple text file. So as you can see, it opens it up inside Notepad. This is known as a tab delimited text file, meaning that each column is separated by a single tab. Okay? I hit the tab key on my keyboard, hit the tab key on my keyboard, separating the columns here. So this is the file along with the other ones in here that we're eventually going to use to import into our Excel environment, into our Excel workbook. Okay, so there they are. Let's get back to Excel. So now I'm going to open up the Visual Basic Editor. So I'm going to use the shortcut key Alt F11. On my keyboard, I'll press Alt F11. This will open up my Visual Basic Editor. Now, I currently don't have any modules, so let's insert a module where we can start to write our code. I'll go to Insert and Module. Now I got a blank, empty Module 1, and my next step is I'm now going to start to create the procedure. So back up to Insert and Procedure, and let's give it a name. Let's just call this Import Text File. Sounds like a good generic name there. And I'm going to leave it the rest of the settings set to default. It's a sub procedure. It's public in scope. I'll hit OK. And I've got the beginnings of my import text files procedure. Now we're going to take this a step at a time. So the first thing that we're going to accomplish here is getting access to that text file that we were just looking at, making reference to it and opening it up so that we can then get in there and copy the data. But before we copy it, let's get in and make access to it and open it up. So my first step, to try to make this as dynamic as possible, I'm going to introduce a variable. And this will be called text file. I'm just making that name up. And it's going to be of type, or as, workbook. Now, why am I doing this? Why am I making this variable called text file? Why am I making it of type workbook? Well, the text file is going to make reference to that April or December or March text file that we were just looking at. If I just open that up, it's a tab delimited text file that opened up inside Notepad. But tab delimited or CSV files, comma separated value files, can be opened up directly inside of Excel. And that's what we're going to do here. As we open up this file that we're about to make reference to, it's going to open up directly inside of Excel as a workbook. So my next step is now to say what text file is going to be equal to. Okay, but here's something new that we haven't talked about. We're going to introduce an additional keyword here called set. Now what set does for you? Let's go back to the variable for a moment. It's called text file. But what's its type? It's a workbook. Before you can make an object such as text file, it's an object-to-object type of workbook, before you can make it equal to something, you have to set it. Anytime you make a variable of type of an object, like a workbook or a cell or a worksheet, you have to set it. Okay, this isn't just a plain value. We're making this variable equal to an Excel object. So you got to start it out with the set keyword. So now we've got set text file equal to, and we're going to get into the workbooks object. And the workbooks object has a few properties, a few methods that we could use here. We're going to use one called open, the open method. And all I'm going to do here is take advantage of the file name object of the open method, which is of the workbooks object. We're going to make it equal to the path where that file is available at, or it's located on our computer. So if I go back to my folder here, I'm just going to copy the address up here at the top. We'll Control C that. Go back to Excel. Inside the quotes, I'm going to paste it in. So I've got my path there, but I need to finish it off. This is going to be the April 2015 sales.txt. It's a text file, right? All right, so two little things happening here. Actually, three. We've got our procedure, import text file. We've created a variable that's now going to store off the location of this text file, and we've told it to open it. So this is just two simple little steps here. Let's try it out. I'm going to move my window just out of the way here a little bit. Let's get rid of this text file as well. And I'm going to run my procedure. So I'll click into the procedure on my keyboard. I'm going to press F5, function key F5 to run it. This runs it, and in the background, you can see that I've now opened up the April 2015 sales.txt file. Now, very important, in the background, there's my book one. It's still available. It's still there. We've just made reference to this text file and opened it up inside of Excel. So get to this point. Open up an Excel document, blank, create a new procedure inside the Visual Basic Editor, create the variable, and then make reference setting that variable equal to opening that text file as a workbook. So get to this point. The next steps we're going to take is copying the data from the one that we just opened into the original Excel file that we had open. So try this out.